Hi, and thanks for joining. Today I'm going to show you how do you combine all of this into the cheapest way of shipping your decals that I was able to figure out. Now, before we begin this, yes, you can physically ship something like this in an envelope, and you can get envelopes fairly cheap. So you would be thinking that's a good way to save money, and you will do your business this way. But what happens next is this being not very steady. You can see in how many ways this can go wrong. And even if everything was right on the very first stages, and now the local postman is about to deliver your decal that you spend so much time and effort creating, and there is a mail letter box, and what he does, he tries to put it in, and there's 30 usually, and just that's pretty much what will going to happen, because he has to set it through a very small gap, and this is what your customer will receive. This is why you don't want to use envelopes, because the result of this, no matter how nice and pretty your design is, this will be the outcome. So how do you ship your item without spending pretty much anything at the packaging of your material, and still being somewhat sure that it will get to the customer how it was intended to be, and not all crumbled up? So boxes, cardboard boxes, you probably have like a ton just in your shed, or even if you don't, there's plenty of boxes just in your local environment. Any Tesco's, any Sainsbury's, as the Lidl, and stores like that, they will have boxes that they no longer need. And if you go around them, or smaller shops, just on a general street, just go in a shop and ask for a box, or ask on a Facebook for a box. You will find plenty of material to work with, and all you will have to do is pick it up. If you do it locally on foot, you won't even have to pay for the gas and use your car. Now, what you do is, you use a knife, one of the specialized ones, or if you don't have, you use scissors. Work well. Hopefully you do have scissors. But I hope I don't have to show you how to cut a cardboard box into 15 pieces, just so we can focus on stuff that actually matters. So, I've got two of them. Why is that? This is to even further protect your vinyl decal. It goes in and you submerge it from both sides. Well, wait a minute, it doesn't fit. At least in this format. Obviously you can buy bags to the size you require, and later on you will be adjusting the sizes of your bags and mailings to the size that Royal Mail can handle, and well, obviously in the UK, and you will be guided by that, because you don't want to create a decal that's too big for a large letter and find out it sells only for something like a couple of quid, and your whole profit will be eaten up by shipping costs. So, doesn't fit, right? You will have to seek a workaround your decals, because it doesn't necessarily have to be in one lane. You can ship this as two individuals, and you can just cut it away and let the customer just combine the decal in the way he or she would like. But what you can also do is see where there's a line that goes through the whole of your decal, so you can bend it and it won't affect the decal itself. When customer gets it, it will have a line, but it will not affect neither the design or usability of this design. So in this way, you will be able to fit your decal in this, and you could ship just this, add the label on top, and ship just this. But if you're willing to spend just a fraction more, you will be able to make it look actually good, and nothing like you would be if you would just send a plain cardboard lettuce. So this now looks somewhat at least presentable, and this is what you're trying to achieve, while this didn't cost you well, pretty much anything besides the small price you pay for them buggies. Now you've packaged your item and you're ready to ship it, so now you have to deal with printing a shipping label. Yes, you can go into the post office and they can print them for you, or just use a little stamps pre-purchased, but get a printer. You will need a printer at one point or another, so you get a printer. I'm not saying about get a specifically labeled printer, but obviously that's a good investment. Try looking into that as soon as possible, but you don't have that, so you resort to using just a colorless, which is black and white laser printer. They are the most effective at printing just a label, and you can just go for pretty much any black and white laser printer. They cost they're like dirt cheap. I'm speaking like 30 quid maybe. So what you do is you print your label, but you're not done just there yet because you want to save it even more. What you do is you put the same paper that you've just used upside down, and you print the second label. That is, of course, if you've got 2 packages to send. And by doing it this way, you use one page twice, and it brings your costs down. And then all you have to do is obviously cut your labels into usable format. Now, one thing to mention is, yes, this blade is dull, and also if you scale it down, because when you're printing there is an option to scale down the image that you're printing, you could use it up to 4 times, and you would save even more on your shipping costs. That is print on labels. What you would have to do though is you would print it once, then you cut it into half straight away without doing the second print. So you print it, you take that half, you will have one white, one black like that. So you again flip it and it will print here. It doesn't matter that it's a shorter page, it will still print it just fine. Just adjust the scale so it doesn't go all over the place. And then you've got one more which is clear on both sides, so you print it once, turn it around and print it for second time, so you will have 4 labels total. Now you're almost ready to do everything else. Oh, I forgot to mention one more thing. Your postage will highly depend on the size, the thickness of it, and the weight, so you will have to invest into some sort of scales. I think these go for around maybe £5 up to £10, so you will have to invest into that. This one is 20 grams, and the cheapest one you can go is letter, and it has to be up to 0.5 centimeters thick, so 5 millimeters. So this might just get through. You will have to get a one of them hole sheets that they use for measuring whether it fits or not. You can get them on eBay as well if you wish to do so. So you've got your weight, you know your measurements, thickness and width and whatnot. So what you do then, you invest in some of this. With this, what you want to do is go on all 4 sides of the label and secure it this way to your packaging. Now, this is what you want to do. What you don't want to do is covering the actual printed the text with this. Some people argue that you want to cover the text as well, This is for the purpose of it being wet, rainy in the van or somewhere during the transportation, and it will protect the address and all of the barcodes and stuff. That is not the case. If this stuff gets in here, you can make your own experiment. If you leave it, you will see I did go over the lines with this stuff, and it will fade. The adhesive will dissolve the ink on the paper. So while you're trying to protect your address, you're actually making it worse. But yes, this is a finished product, and this is how you ship your vinyl decals, and you do it for a fraction of a price when you're just starting, because you've got time to invest, probably, most definitely, but you don't have a lot of money to invest, and this is a good option on how to save money on shipping materials. Now obviously, when you do get some more funds and you're able to go and source the flat mailers, this or any other kind of sort. This one is a thin one, and it has a couple of major benefits to it. When you go and buy them in sizes, you will know exactly which size it is, so you will never have to guess whether it fits or not. You will know it by the size. So even if you are making while you're making this yourself, you have to check within the measurements provided by Royal Mail, so you don't go from letter to a large letter, for example. That works in the UK, obviously, but with these you will always know that this is a letter, and comparing to this is not only thinner, this also saves you a lot of time. You can see how creating this takes time and possibly looks better or good, but this is actually more how you're doing this. Besides everything else, they have the Royal Mail, I'm speaking of Royal Mail in the UK obviously, if they have a please do not bend written on an envelope, they actually have a different procedures, and they go in a different box rather than going into a bag like this one will. So that's the difference between do not bend and something that doesn't have it, because they will collect it from either post office or the red tubes that you drop your mailings into. They will just go into a bag and they will be shipped in a bag. Whereas do not bends, it is advised to drop them off to a post office, because they do go not into a bag, they go into a plastic container, so they're always staying flat, and postmen and post offices will handle them differently. And obviously the last and final addition to how do you ship your items, this will save you time. You don't have to waste your time cutting and using the tape to secure it into the packaging. All you do is print one label with the printer that's designed for it, and it is with a sticky bag. So all you do, you peel it off, you stick it on your envelope, you open the envelope, put your product in, you take this strip away, self-sealing, there you go, Bob's your uncle. No time wasted, maximum efficiency, and it doesn't cost that much. So that's pretty much it for this episode, and now you know how to ship your vinyl decals, so they're safe and a very cheap budget. Thanks for watching.